17-year-old Republican campaign volunteer in Minneapolis is dead after he and another campaign volunteer were shot outside of a convenience store. One America's Shane Althouse has this report.
17-year-old Andre Conley is shot and killed outside of a convenience store in Minneapolis as the local community comes to grips with the multiple teen deaths in recent weeks. Conley and a work colleague were approached by a gunman outside of a Super USA convenience store shortly before 4:30 p.m. on Monday. Conley was a senior at Patrick Henry High School in Minneapolis and served as a public outreach intern for Republican congressional candidate Laci Johnson, who's running for office against incumbent Ilhan Omar. However, a police spokesperson said there is no evidence to suggest the killing was politically motivated. In a letter from the Minneapolis Public Schools Superintendent Ed Graff, this most recent death was the third in 5 weeks. 3 weeks before the death of Conley, Minneapolis lost a 17-year-old female student, and 2 weeks before that, another student was killed. The superintendent attributes these recent deaths to a surge in gun violence, which has gripped the Minneapolis community over the summer. A high school principal in the district, Mari Friesleben, organized a gathering of teachers at the scene of Conley's death, where she spoke out against the danger violence in the community poses to kids.
If we don't take collective responsibility, if we don't mourn and grieve kind of as a broader community and as a village, then we're just allowing this grief to sit on certain populations.
Congressional candidate Laci Johnson echoed Friesleben's sentiments in a statement where he said the killing of his campaign intern was a shocking and unnecessary act of violence, which proves why change is needed more than ever in the community. Some have even referred to the uptick in homicides as the Minneapolis effect. This theory recycles another known as the Ferguson effect, which attributed large crime spikes in Ferguson, Missouri to anti-police sentiment stemming from the highly publicized killing of black 18-year-old Michael Brown in 2014. Similarly, the Minneapolis effect theory correlates the city's large increase in crime to the police-related death of black 46-year-old George Floyd, which sparked massive protests nationwide, along with calls to defund the police. Minneapolis's government has even released a chart showing the number of shots fired in the city following George Floyd's death, which illustrates the large increase in gun-related activity, which almost completely coincides with the subsequent public outcry. In Ferguson, homicide increased 150% in the year following Michael Brown's death, and so far in Minneapolis, there has been over a 600% increase in firearm discharges since George Floyd died. In all of 2019, there were 48 victims of homicide in Minneapolis. However, as of September, 17-year-old Andre Conley is the 59th Minneapolis homicide victim in the year 2020. Shane Althouse, One America News.
Want to see more videos like this? Click on the link below and subscribe to One America News on YouTube, and call your cable provider and kindly demand that One America News is added to your lineup. Call and subscribe today.